What if a huge part of our biology, something almost all of our ancestors had, just went missing? We're talking about a tiny microbe that plays a massive role in our mood, our sleep, even how we connect with people. So let's dive into what this microbe is and why its disappearance is such a big deal. So get this. An estimated 96% of us are now missing a crucial ancestral microbe called Lactobacillus reuteri. Yeah, 96%. That's basically 24 out of every 25 people. This isn't just some random bug. Its absence has left this gaping hole in our collective health. And the big question is, where on earth did it go? And this quote from Dr. William Davis just perfectly captures the modern mystery we're dealing with. The microbiologist who first found L Reuteri back in the 60s said it was literally everywhere, in breast milk, in our gut, you name it. But fast forward to the 2000s, and it's practically vanished. We've lost a key piece of our own biological puzzle in just a couple of decades. Okay, so how does something so essential just disappear so quickly? Well, it wasn't one single thing. It was more like a widespread, unintentional sabotage from our modern lifestyle. Let's break down the main culprits. Here's the thing you have to understand. This microbe is uniquely vulnerable. It's especially sensitive to really common antibiotics like amoxicillin. So that one round you took for a sinus infection years ago, it could have wiped it out for good. Then you pile on things like glyphosate in our food, a diet packed with ultra-processed junk, chronic stress, and the fact that it's originally passed down through breast milk, which is less common now. You've got the perfect storm for its extinction. Now, losing this microbe isn't just some abstract gut problem. It has a direct and honestly profound effect on our brain chemistry. It leads to what you could call an oxytocin deficit. And this is where things get really interesting. So you might be wondering, how can a tiny bug in my gut mess with my brain? Well, it communicates through a direct information highway called the vagus nerve. When L Reuteri is hanging out in your small intestine where it belongs, it sends a powerful signal straight up this nerve to your brain, basically telling it to release a super important hormone. And that hormone is oxytocin. Now, a lot of us think of it as the love hormone or the cuddle hormone, and it is, but its job is so much bigger than that. Think of oxytocin as one of the most powerful anti-stress hormones we have. It's the ultimate counterweight to cortisol, our #1 stress hormone. So here's the bottom line. It's all about the state you're living in. Without L Reuteri, we can get trapped in a high cortisol fight-or-flight loop. That means chronic stress, terrible sleep, and your body even breaking down muscle. But when you bring it back and you boost that oxytocin, you shift into rest and repair mode. We're talking deep sleep, a calm mood, better social connection, and even better muscle growth. And the consequences of living in that deficit state? They're things so many of us struggle with every single day. We're talking about chronic insomnia, that constant feeling of social anxiety, hitting a wall at the gym, and even lower testosterone. People also report things like thinner skin and hair. And this is a big one. Because L Reuteri produces natural antibiotics that kill bad bacteria, its absence is a huge driver of SIBO, or small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Okay, but here is the really good news. This is not a permanent loss. We can bring this microbe back. Dr. William Davis came up with a protocol to not just supplement it, but to actually cultivate it ourselves in massive therapeutic quantities. The goal here isn't just to pop a tiny probiotic pill. The whole idea is to actively grow L Reuteri right in your own kitchen, creating this super concentrated food that can have a real, noticeable impact on your body. This is all about restoration on a huge scale. And the process itself, it's surprisingly simple. You just combine 3 things: a dairy source, like half and half, a starter culture with the L Reuteri in it, and a prebiotic fiber, which is basically food for the microbes. You'll let it ferment, and then you just eat about ½ cup a day. That's it.
Now, the first key is the temperature. You have to ferment it at 99 degrees Fahrenheit. So why that specific number? Well, it's because L Reuteri doubles every 3 hours at human body temperature. So you're creating the absolute perfect environment for it to just multiply like crazy.
And the second key is time. Unlike a normal yogurt that might ferment for, say, 6 or 12 hours, this protocol calls for a full 36 hours. Through a lot of trial and error, Dr. Davis found that this was the absolute sweet spot to get the maximum number of live bacteria before they kind of level off. So what's the result of being so precise? A single ½ cup serving has somewhere around 300 billion live active bacteria. To put that in perspective, that is 1,000 times more than you'd find in those little probiotic tablets for babies. You're getting a truly therapeutic dose. Which, of course, brings us to the payoff. What happens when you reintroduce this keystone microbe at such insane levels for 30 days? Well, the reported effects line up almost perfectly with every single problem caused by its absence. People report these incredible transformations. That deep, restorative delta wave sleep they haven't had in years, suddenly it's back. They notice more muscle and strength thanks to a boost in muscle stem cells. Their mood gets better, their stress plummets, and people even say their skin starts to look smoother and younger. And for anyone with SIBO, it can be an absolute game changer. And that social bonding effect, oh, it is very real. Dr. Eric Berg told this fantastic story about his own experience. His wife noticed he was suddenly way more affectionate, wanting to hug her all the time. His only explanation was, it must be the yogurt. And her response, keep eating the yogurt. I mean, that is just the perfect real-world example of that oxytocin boost in action. So it really all boils down to this one question. We've lost this critical microbe that helps regulate our sleep, our stress, our social connections, our muscle, our skin. We now have a straightforward way to bring it back in force. And it just makes you wonder, what could restoring this one missing piece of your own biology do for you?